What's going on, guys? It's your boy CBS back with another Destiny video. So in my last video I talked all about the artifact system and broke it down completely from worst to first, and if you haven't seen that, it will be in the iCard section on the top right of your screen. So GAMEINFORMER has given us a new video today, giving us even more glimpses into the new Rise of Iron expansion, and I wanted to break it down a bit and hit on some of the noteworthy points in regards to what's new in the Rise of Iron. The full uninterrupted video of that will be at the end of my commentary, but if you want to skip ahead, the timestamp for that will be in the description right below the like button. So right off the bat, Christopher Barrett establishes that the idea behind Rise of Iron is nostalgia, taking us back to a time long ago. The storyline is described as being very simple and easy to digest, which I don't know if that was like a shot at us saying that we're not smart enough to understand a complex story, or if it was just easier to keep a linear story that everybody could follow. I'm not really sure, but they also talked about the new SIVA faction, that it poses a huge threat to our existence and we have to eradicate this plague from the fallen Cosmodrome walls and reestablish the safety and security of humanity. They showed us some of the new characters in Felwinter's Peak that we're going to meet along our journey, like Shiro 4 in the Iron Temple. He's basically like the Vanguard rep in the new social space, and he basically is going to act in a similar capacity as Cade 6 does in the tower. So he'll give you missions and possibly be able to buy the same weapons from him as you can in the tower from Cade 6. I'm not sure. More than likely they're going to try and keep the tower being a huge social hub, and Shiro 4 will probably just be story missions and stuff like that. They showed us some of the wolves scattered around the Felwinter's Peak, so I'm sure a lot of people are going to love that. Again, I talked about it a long time ago. I'm not really like super fascinated about the wolves, but it is cool to see live animals in this new age of the world or whatever, because all you really see right now is just birds. So they also introduced us to Tyra Karn. Each week you will have an Iron Lord's legacy bounty that you will need to acquire one of 3 new available artifacts each week. Once you've acquired an individual artifact, you will be able to light the torch of a corresponding monument or tower or statue, whatever, to signify that you completed it. Now, there's already speculation that upon completing all 8 torches, that is going to unlock 1 or possibly 2 more artifacts to represent Lord Shaxx and possibly Aphrodite, because they hinted that in the release for the artifacts, but that's not confirmed. But I think that would be a great, I guess, incentive for everybody to work towards completing these Iron Lord's legacy bounties each week. Now that gives them 8 weeks of content at most, or at the minimum is 8 weeks of content. Now if people miss a week or whatever, it just spreads the lifetime, so I like that. They show Guardians returning to the Cosmodrome to see frozen wastelands completely changed from what I remember. They showed Sepix Prime returning in its SIVA form, and his name was Sepix Perfected. I'm interested to see if Sepix Prime has new unique abilities to coincide with the SIVA, or if it's going to be the same old battle that we know with just a brand new skin over top. The video was only 3.5 minutes long, but what we did get to see was very interesting. They showed some stuff from the new raid in the beginning. They showed us the Year 3 Rise of Iron tracking book that's going to give you each tracking is going to give you new armor sets. It's going to give you all kinds of stuff, and it's going to be account wise. So if you do everything on your hunter, it will unlock the warlock gear and the titan gear when you log into those. So that makes it for somebody like me that mains my hunter, it won't be like a total grind fest for every character. They also showed some of the different strike mechanics that they're going to be bringing forward. It all looks fun, fresh, and exciting, and honestly I can't wait to feast on the next bit of content drip as GAMEINFORMER continues to give us more and more over the course of August. Let me know what you guys think of the preview or the in-depth gameplay that they showed, so we can talk about it in the comment section. I always like talking to you guys in the comments. I like to interact and get your ideas, and and just bounce our ideas back and forth and see what you guys are thinking, and it might change my perception or change my thought process on how I'm looking at things. So anyways, with that being said, my name is CBS. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, don't forget to smash a like. As always, be safe, subscribe if you're new, tell your mother to call me, and I'll catch you guys on the next video.
The universe of Destiny is huge. There's a ton of characters, there's a ton of planets, there's a ton of heroes and stories to be told. Stuff we've only hinted at, like who built the tower, what were some of the battles that happened long ago, what are the secrets that are buried under the moon. So I think there's a lot of potential for really cool stories, and in Rise of Iron we're taking one of those and going deeper and delivering a bunch of new content. So new raid, new crucible modes, new story content.
I think also that I know Chris was really focused on thematically making sure it all kind of fit nicely together. Yeah, so it was fun to see you kind of come up with the Saladin angle.
Trying to put all of that content together over a cohesive story and theme, the Iron Banner and the Iron Lords. And at its core, if you want players to get engaged and understand what they're doing, it's critical that there's a simple story that they can follow along. With Rise of Iron, there's a simple story. It is the SIVA faction of Fallen have unearthed this horrible plague from long ago. The Iron Lords once sealed it away, but it's come back, and you have to help Lord Saladin seal it away for good, and in the process become an Iron Lord yourself. So we think that's a pretty simple story. I think there's a lot of great characters that we're going to introduce to players. There's a lot of cool new spaces to discover and stuff.
As a starting point, we were shooting for something like House of Wolves, and it's bigger than that. You have a whole new zone. The Plaguelands is a really special, open, large space, lots of secrets. The social space and that first mission are bigger than I think we were hoping for.
Taking back the social space,
really
like
cool.
Ascending the mountain and then killing all the Fallen and then coming back, and Lord Saladin's come in and the characters have set up and there's wolves around. I think that's a really cool moment.
There's a bunch of really neat things within the missions themselves. There's a gondola experience, which is really unique, something we haven't done. The final mission and final encounter is really fun.
I think the final mission turned out really, really fun. Taking a lot of the elements of the story, and it all kind of comes to a head in this one encounter. I think they'll definitely enjoy it. The other thing that I think is really cool is that we've introduced these new artifacts that have these new powers named after each of the Iron Lords. And there's this room at the top of the temple where as you acquire each one of those artifacts, there's a corresponding statue in this mausoleum room, and when you power it up, it lights the fire, and each person will be able to see, how much of the artifacts they've collected.
The thing that we're hoping is that players are going to want to collect all of them, and then depending on their mood or the activity they're playing, they're going to adjust their artifact.
And hopefully they're finding new ways to pair that with existing exotic weapons and different perks in their ability tree and stuff like that. When we were first working with the story team on this release, we tossed around a lot of words, like what are the right words that we want players to feel? What is the tone of this release? And so nostalgia was one of them, heroism, memory. So there's this really interesting dynamic of this character, Lord Saladin, who has nostalgia and longing for this thing that happened long ago. His friends, sacrificed themselves to basically save humanity. At the same time, you as a player are returning to these spaces that you are familiar with. We're returning to the Cosmodrome, the wall where you first started your journey as a player, but it's collapsed and there's snow covered over. And
there's a bunch of other really nice subtle ways to support the nostalgia. Sepix comes back. We all killed Sepix many, many times, and so it's neat to see that version of him and the Galahorn being reintroduced. They fit together nicely.
On top of that, there's this transition. So Lord Saladin is sort of closing this chapter. He's putting his demons to rest, but at the same time, he's passing on the torch, and you're becoming one of the new Iron Lords. We know players are hungry for content, and Rise of Iron's gonna satiate it for a little bit, but I think it's really important that Destiny is a living world. It's a game that's continuing to evolve, and so we'll be trying to keep that content drip going as much as we can.
What are you waiting for? Do it! Yes, you can!